Hello, Scorpio. How's everybody going today? How are you doing? Apollo and I are wishing you much love and light, and I can't wait to take a look at your December forecast. There's been a lot of messages that have been coming through over the past couple of days, and I feel like this is going to be a really good month. A lot of change, and much like Libra, there's a lot that's kind of going around communication for you, and so that should be interesting to talk about here in just a moment. I'd like to begin by introducing myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is Apollo. And every month I like to show up, thanks buddy. Every month I like to show up and really kind of give you a blueprint for what's available in the energy ahead for you. I'm a big proponent of free will, and it's all about choices. So I'm gonna lay those choices out in front of you and try to help you find that path of least resistance. The way that I organize this reading is in about 4 major parts. I like to begin with channeled messages, and I'll turn the camera down in a second so you can see those. That's basically what I get from dream interpretation and meditation, and also just automatic writing. And I do all of this obviously before the reading gets started. Then we'll take a look at the deck of cards that I've chosen for you today, and we'll go a little bit deeper and see what's coming through in the realm of possibilities, opportunities, and even the challenges as well, because we really want to see a combination of the two. And I expand the forecast afterwards to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And then afterwards, we're going to go a little deeper into the soul path. And what the soul path is a chance for us to take a look at anything that's presented itself here as one of those major sort of pillars of the month. And we can go deeper and help you get set up, not just for the next 45 days or so, but for the year ahead. Okay. So we'll meditate after all of that to bring some integration into place, and hopefully get you in a good place so you're feeling higher, brighter, and lighter after all of this, okay? As I said, I had a lot that I was doing this morning. Apollo's getting comfortable in his bed. I had a lot of work that I was doing earlier this morning to kind of pull all of those messages here and to get prepared, to get ready, and to get focused. And let's get started. I always like to take one moment at the beginning and remind you how Super Chat works, so let me do that first. I know a lot of readers will do Q&A during their readings. I don't, because this is a general message where I'm channeling information the whole time. I am going to have a sort of Q&A session coming up on the 27th. It's going to be a collective reading that's focusing on healing through gratitude. I'll also take any questions about the book. Originally, I was going to focus it more on that, and then I realized there's a lot more to do for the collective. And I feel like a lot of us are struggling over the holidays. So I'm going to do 2 collective videos. And I just mean that every sign is welcome to those. So 27th of November, and then I'll do another one in December on the 31st, on New Year's Eve. We'll do it in the morning, same time as always. And that one is going to be about opening up the portal and really trying to get 2021 energy happening here and now so that we can all make it a better year, okay? Anyway, back to Super Chats. Basically, what Super Chat is a way to just kind of give me a tip and say thank you and show some love and support. I'll be using a deck today that I purchased with the funds that you guys generously give me. So thank you to everybody who does that. As also thank you to my fellow Patreon supporters, and also anyone from a channel membership, anyone with the green text. Thank you so much for your continued support. It means a lot, and it makes it all possible. All right. Ryan and Maria are my moderators. They can answer any high-level questions. Thanks, guys, for always making this a safe space. And let's get started. Okay, so obviously I'm a fan of fantasy. In my dreams last night, what I saw was it was a really kind of cool image. It reminded me sort of what you would sort of see with it, like it was a dragon slayer, but I also got a little bit of the, the Excalibur energy, which is finding this sense that, oh my gosh, it's me, I can actually do this. So just like Arthur, you might be finding your special power this month and you're able to slay a dragon. And the dragon, of course, is a metaphor for things that have been holding us back. It's kind of like devil energy, and you're overcoming that. So is there, I think for you, the question is, what has been sort of a limiting thought, a limiting activity or energy in your life right now? It's something that it's time for it to kind of leave right now. And I think that part of the sort of Excalibur energy or Dragon Slayer energy is understanding, like, enough is enough. Like, I've had it and I'm ready. And if I don't do this now, when am I going to do it? And I think that taking the first step is really all that's required this month. But it's going to be your voice. And we're going to talk about that at great length today. That's going to be the sort of key that unlocks these opportunities for you. I think it is really important for you, just in case you don't have the support from friends, from family, from other people in your life, to just know you can do it. Envision that successful outcome. Anybody that has manifested or competes, for instance, does this anyway. If you look at a sports person, part of what like any athlete would do is try to sit down and meditate and kind of psych themselves into a victory. And they can see it, they can taste it, they can feel it. And that's an important piece to manifestation. And I think athletes have always understood that. And I hope that you can too. You have that sword, which is really going to be King or Queen of Swords energy. It's communication. And that's truly what's going to slay or cut through whatever's going on in your life. It's going to be how you use your voice this month to reveal, to activate, to inspire, to push away, whatever. Your voice really does matter. And it came to me in the form of some sort of heroine or hero that had a sword and that was conquering their fears. So let's talk a little bit more about how this is going to play out. The first thing is I feel like some of you need to deal with some sort of a desire to love or be loved. And there's this sense of wanting to belong. 2020 has been difficult because the traditional connections that we had to like friends and families and even our social activities, they've kind of fizzled, right? Because we can't really do it. And maybe this, for some of you, is inspiring you to just kind of latch on to whatever's available. So I want to say be careful with that, because this desire to belong could attract you to a group that requires like a membership or initiation. What I saw in my visual sort of third eye, my dreams last night, was like a fraternity or sorority type energy. And because it felt like I was going through an initiation thing and kind of being hazed a little bit. And here's the good news. If you're trying to get into some sort of a membership type thing, I saw acceptance, but I didn't feel the acceptance. Like I thought I was half expecting it not to work. And then once I heard that I was accepted and maybe there's still some trials or whatever, it just didn't feel like it was syncing. I wasn't syncing with the people. Only do this if it's what you want to do. This sort of literally, when we think of what fraternity or sorority means, it's brothers and sisters. For some of you, this could be a family that you're marrying into as well. So it's kind of like forced acceptance, right? Because the partner chose you, but the family may not accept you. And maybe they say that they accept you, but there's this underlying feeling of, I don't know if this is going to work. And what was getting me in trouble, but I didn't care because it was my authentic self, is I just spoke my heart. When I'm in the etheric realm, I'm really communicative. And if something bothers me, I say it. And so that's what I was saying to this group of people. I wasn't agreeing with them. They seemed to like me nonetheless, but it was difficult. There was friction. So if you're entering into a sort of new contracted relationship, whether it's a business sort of thing where you're kind of forced to work with a group of people that you don't like, but your boss said, hey, this is your team for the next 6 months, or you just got married and it's sort of like you're having a hard time connecting with the in-laws, that's okay. I don't think you need to change who you are. I think there'll eventually be a point where they just realize that you're not going away. So be yourself. That's one of the main messages that came through. If you're being pushed to join a group though, or to do something that you don't want to do, this comes up later, don't do it. Because I also felt that. I thought, no, there were certain things or certain people that I needed to push back from that. So acceptance begins within. It's not being accepted by a group will not help you love yourself or feel better or feel more sort of connected, or like the Ace of Cups is all the way full. It's just one thing that shows like, yeah, other people like me, but do I like me? And why do I want other people to like me if I don't like them? So it's sort of this, you shouldn't need to do that if you don't want to do it. Now, if you really like the team and the group and everything, all I'm seeing is it might take a little time to warm up. And there may be some hiccups at the beginning too, where you thought it would be easy, but you actually have some areas where you disagree on. So close relationships and anything with a contract or a membership or whatever, it just feels like you really want to sort these things out and make sure that it works for you and you're doing it for a reason that feels authentic. Ultimately, listen, Scorpio, I think it's your time to be yourself and celebrate your singular personality traits and your singular qualities. Whatever makes you unique, you is what's important here. Let your spiritual tribe or family find you and discover all the things that you have to give and offer to the world, right? You may find it difficult this month to not open your mouth, and that's okay. Because much like Libra, there's sort of a throat activation happening in these two signs. For you, there's a lot more coming through, though. It's not just about expressing yourself. I feel like it is necessary for kind of moving you to the next level. So it's either going to break down, like, because we saw the Dragon Slayer, it's going to break down or break through a barrier that's been there for a long time in your life. And now it's finally your time to show your power, to show your mettle, to show that you can do it. Or it's going to reveal something that people hadn't seen before. And that's only going to happen if you're not sort of doing what's expected, if you're going to stand out. Your message needs to be heard, and the right kind of person might latch onto this. And for those of you that have something that you want to say, this is different than like a fiction book. What I was seeing was something almost like there were procedures or technical aspects to it. I feel like if you can write, or if you're inspired to write, what I saw was something like, yeah, it was an instructive sort of nonfiction piece. So maybe for teachers, it could be like a curriculum. And it could also be like a textbook, or it might be something like a documentary, or some sort of like a journalistic exploration of something. It seemed like there would be research, like there would be procedures, like it would be an information type thing. So you might be inspired to study. You might also be inspired to share that message. Again, there was a technical piece, so technical writing was part of this. If you're a cook or something like this, or a mechanic, it could be like a cookbook or some sort of a how-to guide on how to fix something. Whatever you've learned, I feel like you could capitalize this if you wanted to. You could share on this. You could share this and somehow get money back on it, is what I was trying to say. So an exciting opportunity for business, and also something that may really help people out there that are trying to figure something out. With the power of the internet right now, if you kind of tag things correctly, it has the potential to be discovered, and maybe, it's the next sort of viral how-to book or something. So if you want to do that, that's something that's coming up here. Back to what I was saying earlier here, using that sort of King or Queen of Swords energy. This might be a time where you want to kind of do like an investigation on something. So this is maybe more for the journalists out there, or for someone who's kind of tired of dealing with something. It could also be like a lawsuit. Speak up, speak out. If there's someone that's pushing you to do something that feels wrong, or isn't legally kosher, this is the time to sort of say, like, we can't do this anymore. And better yet, like if someone is making other people do it, it's time to bring it to the light of day. Ask questions, especially with respect to money or legal matters, even if it's, I should say, especially if it's not popular. This is why there should be a red flag. Why can't I ask these questions? I know you want me to get this done, but this doesn't feel right, or this isn't right, or what about this? So be the curious one, be the loud sort of squeaky wheel, as I was saying in a previous sign, and you're going to make something better because of that, even if other people are pushing. It's not always right to rush through it, and things have a way of coming out. We're going to talk about that. Don't be surprised this month. I'm talking about the brother, sister, family, or membership sort of stuff that we were looking at earlier. I think loyalties are going to be put to the test. Ultimately, there's going to be things that are revealed. I believe that if there's a secret that's being kept, whether you're keeping the secret or someone else is keeping the secret, why not just plan on this eventually seeing the light of day? In fact, back in my past, I studied a little bit about public relations. Journalism was my first degree, and I did a lot of work with PR. And one of the things that you should do if you're going to kind of do damage control is just get ahead of things. So if you feel like someone's going to say something and spill the beans, spill your own beans and make it an empowering moment, and help it. Like the way that you could do this is say, we've established such a great relationship that I want to share this with you. That's it. And then share what you want to, and then move on to the next thing. And then that person doesn't have anything on you. Own your truth. It's not a secret. It's part of you. Own it, share it, celebrate it, discuss it, and neutralize it and depress it and put it away. This is where a lot of politicians go wrong right now, because if there's something that needs to be said, say it, admit it, move, like have an action plan, and then get past it. When you lie or you push things away, it just kind of festers. So take control of that. There's another thing that I want to say about that, though. Some secrets shouldn't be kept. So if there's somebody that has like blackmailed you or forced you to sort of keep a secret, and it could be hurting someone, that's not a secret. That's just something that's again, sort of festering. So that's about kind of like revealing a truth that needs to be heard. The other thing here for you is just prepare to do something a little bit earlier. Talking about, how now is such an important time, being present. I feel like there's no more time to waste. You have to set your goals into action right now. So for many of you, it's less about secrecy and it's more about stagnancy. And so maybe you've just been keeping this well-kept secret about, something that you want to do or be, or something that's finished, but you're afraid to share it. It's time to let it go. One thing that I'd like to kind of put out there, since we're looking at December, and we'll do more of it when I do my second to last, my last video this year that's for the collective on New Year's Eve. What's your legacy that you're going to leave on the planet? Forget about what you're trying to do right here, right now. What is this whole lifetime about for you? If you could kind of go into your soul space and figure out the big so what, if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be? Meditate on that over the course of the next month or two and figure out, is this, whatever you're doing now, whoever you're working with, whoever you're engaged with, is this bringing me closer to that goal? Is it pulling me away from it? Will they celebrate that if that's what I wanted to leave behind? And if not, then it's time to change. If so, great, supercharge all of that and move a little bit further on that. Because I feel like a lot of times we just keep waiting for the next big thing, which was something that I talked to Libra about the other day. And you guys have very similar energies with today's reading. The time is now, and that's basically what I'm getting here, okay? So just a quick review, and then we're going to go into the cards. There's a chance to use communication to slay a dragon. And the dragon, of course, is symbolic, but it could be something that feels like it's big, but it's not once you start to talk about it. And that really is so often the case. We feel like there's this big, heavy energy, but the heaviness is just sort of like the fact that it's the elephant in the room, right? Or the dragon in the room, as we're looking at it today. Looking at that feeling of needing to be loved, needing to belong to something. Self-acceptance, self-love is so important. And if there's anyone around you where you feel like you're forcing your connection to them, you don't need to do that. So look at those fraternal and sorority type energies and think, is this something that I really need or want right now? Your voice, you're gonna have a hard time keeping your mouth shut this month. So figure out when, how, and if you're going to use that to your advantage. Part of that might be a revelation. Also expect that other people might have a hard time keeping things in. So plan for an earlier launch or announcement if you need to. And then figure out for 2021 and the years after that, what am I trying to do? How can I do it? How are these things that I'm doing aligning to that? And this helps us from kind of like ambling around like pinballs, right? And trying to figure stuff out. I know for like the first half of my life, I felt like I was doing that. You would just keep, maybe I'll try this for a while, then I'll try this. And I talked yesterday about the analogy of sand passing through an hourglass. And it doesn't seem like it has value until you really get to the point where it's at the midpoint or there's just a little left. It's always moving at the same amount of speed though. So today, you're flying on the wings of a dragon. It's important for you to move forward and kind of catch up. This is a catch-up month. So as we look at the cards here, I'm going to see how we can get you on track. At this point, I like to remain quiet, but don't worry. I will review everything that's in front of me, and you'll have a chance at the midpoint too to see all of the cards that I just went through, all the index cards. So whether you're a new viewer or a return viewer, it's good to see you guys again. Welcome. Again, this is for the month of December. The way that my live readings work, however, is that messages may actually be relevant now too. If they're not, wait until December because we're doing it early. This is giving you a chance to prepare for these opportunities in front of you. right, everybody. Thank you for giving me a moment to get everything organized. Let me take a drink as well. I love the playful card that we got here in your catalyst. For those of you that watch every month, you know the catalyst is a reminder of how we can sort of celebrate things and stay in the highest possible energy. To me, dolphins are super intelligent, but they're also really playful. And I think that part of the way that you can find a sense of productivity this month is through trying to look at it as, maybe if it's not work, anything that you're working on, can you have some more fun in things too? And we, as adults, we forget about the power of play, of make-believe, of imagining things. And if there's any way for you to kind of have a chance to break out of routines and do something that's just fun. And even though we're like, you know, a lot of us are working and living from home right now, it's still important to take vacation days and to do things that are fun and maybe disconnect from the computers and the televisions and all of those things to really get back into just fun, right? So whether it's just with whoever's in your sort of close family unit that you're allowed to connect with right now, because I know we have a lot of restrictions on social engagements, do something that makes your heart sing. Your artistic energy and expressive energy is coming through with this as well. So I like it. I also think that this is indicative of your sign and what your strength is. So if you can find a way to really exist within that frequency of joy, of passion, then everyone wants to be around you. So be the dolphin this month, be the light of the room, be the person that people can kind of count on for that, like the breath of fresh air. That's really what I'm seeing with this. But intelligence, because of play, because of having fun, and play is an integral piece of growth and expansion. And that's what the dolphin is reminding us. We have the Three of Pentacles here at the center. And what a gorgeous Three of Pentacles this one is. So what we're seeing here is, for many of you, you're putting your passion into practice. And maybe there's something in the past that you've learned and never had a chance to really take it and make it part of your day-to-day routine. Sometimes, you know, this could also be something that's outside of school that you want to kind of learn a little bit more about, because we literally see a painter here. With Three of Pentacles, there's often a manual piece to it. So it can be sculpting, writing, creating, but it's hands-on. And this definitely ties into what I was talking about earlier, where there might be some sort of a technical instruction or a curriculum or a teaching aspect to this. Three of Pentacles usually rules higher education or advanced training. So again, I feel really good about any of you that want to engage in that or maybe facilitate that. Reading things right now is a great thing as well. This is the card of books. So if there's something that you need to do to just kind of like distract yourself, if you can't go to bed, or if you're trying to figure out something, this is a really good time to pick up your favorite book and just kind of get lost and explore. And I like everything that I see with this. This is also showing a big return on investment. And the interesting thing is, in the deep past, we have the Eight of Pentacles. These are very much connected. This is apprenticeship. This is mastery. So you can finish something this month. This is the past. This is the here and the now. So I really like what I'm seeing. And if you're finishing up a degree, this is showing me also that you're going to put it to good use, okay? So continue to work on your mind, work on yourself. These cards are very much about that part of you. But as I said earlier, expression is important. So if you don't journal, you should. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, communicating and talking to someone could also be really effective. But I feel like there needs to be like a recording of something that you're doing right now. So whether it's painting, whether it's writing, whether you're using your phone and you're doing like a voice memo, somehow record this moment in time. It could be just about putting those sort of like milestones out there and figuring out, I want to do this, I want to do that. So the goal planning that I was talking about, what's your legacy? It's a really good time to do that. This is a very interesting Two of Pentacles on top of this and kind of connecting everything that we've seen here. We see this as kind of balancing your place in the cosmos as well as your place on the planet, and finding not just work-life balance, but also sort of like your soul balance. Sometimes we can get so pulled out of our power and our purpose that's why the Two of Pentacles would come through. And we see this kind of going in through the back of the back, but it's coming out around the belly button. So this is really solar plexus energy, a little bit of root and sexual chakra energy as well. Those lower three chakras that we often neglect. I think that could be a place that you focus. I was looking yesterday, I look at all the comments, they pop up on my phone, but someone was asking about how to open their third eye. And I felt like saying, and maybe I'll talk about it in some of our collective readings coming up. If you don't really strengthen the lower chakras, you don't necessarily want the third eye or the crown to open up first, because it kind of is like you'll be bobbling around a little bit. You need to have that firm connection to the planet. So this month, anything that you do to really get yourself feeling strong, confident, this is where I was talking about self-confidence really being kind of like your route into that planet. Then you can reach for the stars, the moon, the sun, the sky, and you can achieve it. But you have to feel like no matter what, I'll be okay. So really ground yourself, because that's going to help you even get beyond your seventh chakra. We have a couple of chakras above and a couple below us. And we have many, many more in our on our body and around our body. So there's just 7 major ones, but there's a ton of smaller ones. And there's a couple of bigger ones that we don't see that are outside. So this seems like it's a month where if you really focus on grounding yourself in your purpose, then you can reach for all of those really high purposes that you want. And make sure that you're not giving too much of yourself either. There's divine masculine and feminine energy here. We've got the sun and we've got the earth. Earth is slightly more feminine. The sun is slightly more masculine. So I feel like this is a chance for you to also balance those aspects of your life. Hopefully we're seeing more and more of that now, because we don't have to see like one divine sort of expression exist only within one gender. Everybody gets to play with all of those sort of experiences. So if you feel like you want, like if you're a guy and you want to do something that's traditionally more of a sort of like divine feminine thing, go for it. We need more like stay-at-home dads. We need more women in corporations and politics and things like that. We got to balance out everything so that all of the future generations can benefit from this sort of equality. We need equal pay too. All of that stuff needs to happen. So this is about finding a balance between the two, because the polarity between them is imaginary. It's something we developed as a people. We need to also dissolve it. And I think that's some of what's coming through now, hopefully soon. If you're looking for love, I love the fact that we have the lovers here, right in the recent past. Some of you might have recently found yourself in a relationship. Some of you might be calling in the partner, even if they're not there yet, because obviously with COVID-19, it's been difficult to meet people. But this is showing me that the energy of that person's already kind of intertwined with you. We kind of have what looks like green man and green woman in this sort of deck here. The Lovers card does not have to indicate that a person's coming into your life. It can also indicate growth and fertility and attraction of opportunities in your life. It means that when people look at you, you have a magnetic quality. And what I see the magnetic quality being here, as we're looking at 3, 8, and 2 of Pentacles, is this balance between maybe practical and mystical. It could be this communication, this approach that you're taking. This is very practical, 3 and 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like you could maybe demystify something as well. That could be part of this. So just know that that's coming through. We have the High Priestess. She's in the crowning position here. There's really nothing bad about the High Priestess, but when she's reversed as she was, there can sometimes be a tendency to second guess yourself, or there could be either someone in your life that is trying to use knowledge or use their position to benefit themselves. So usually when this happens, that's when your third eye opens wide open, and you can see that's happened for me before too. Even if you're not psychically developed as much as you need to be, your spidey sense will kind of kick into gear, and you can see who you can trust, who you can't, what you need to do. Pay attention to those little whispers of intuition, whether it's coming through clairaudience, or it's vision, or just you feel like you got to do something, or you can't be with someone. I want you to trust that. It's very, very, it's very clairvoyant, and you need to kind of lean into it. The other thing with this is you can't force intuition. It kind of comes through you. So a lot of times when you're trying to develop your psychic skill set, there's this thing like, well, I keep closing my eyes, but I can't see anything. That's the most common comment that I see when I go into meditation. Don't worry about it. Feel it. If you can't see what I'm seeing, that's okay. Just close your eyes, listen, and see what comes to you in words, thoughts, or feelings. There's so many ways to experience intuition. It's not all visual. Forget the visual. Maybe your goal on the planet was to connect with things in a more sort of practical way, and that's fine. Maybe you're gonna see numbers or something else when you meditate. It doesn't matter. Symbols are symbols. Your job as an intuitive is to decode those symbols and figure out how they work for you. So I was talking yesterday about language. Intuition is the same way. We all speak the language of intuition differently. Some of us hear it, some of us see it, some of us feel it, some of us use external tools to tap into it. And guess what? They're all valid. None is better than the other. And as you go deeper into one, the other ones start to open up and you'll start to feel more of them. So don't focus so much on what you can't see. Focus on what you can feel, focus on what you can do, and trust that you can do it. Because if you keep saying, I can never see anything, guess what? You're never going to see something. So stop saying that. Start saying, I'm open, universe, to receive signs and guidance in all forms. And I'm going to allow for whatever needs to come through. And I'm not going to judge how that feels or how that looks. Because your guides may communicate differently. I talked before about this in one of my intuitive development videos, but I once had a Spanish-speaking guide. And at the time, I mean, I can speak Spanish, but poorly. And it was too much. And the guide was speaking too quickly. And I just said, this isn't going to work. So I asked for a different guide or for them to communicate differently. Because I've had experiences with angels, especially, that don't use words. They basically just go straight into your head and show you things. And then you know things. So it's clairsentience. There's no clear audience. It's also just clairvoyance. So it's just like you're watching a picture show, but in your head, you get it. So if you want to kind of connect with a guide that's not talking the way you want or understand, just ask them to do it differently. Usually they can because they're pretty advanced. So you could go straight to the visual, straight to the audio, or you could say, I'm gonna start writing this out. Help me write as I'm writing. Come to me that way. So there's a lot of different ways. If they can't speak your language, they'll find someone that can. You can ask Archangel Gabriel to translate. A lot of different ways you can work around it. But that's an example of sometimes needing to communicate how you want to receive the messages as well, okay? We have the Nine of Wands in the near future. The Nine of Wands is reversed. To me, this is the card that shows perseverance, fighting to make something happen. It's a really strong card. Now, when it's reversed, sometimes it feels like there's a tendency to think like, I don't know if I can do this, or the world is kind of beating up on me, or all of this stuff is weighing heavily on me. I would encourage you to keep holding that light, holding that torch and saying, you know what, I'm nearly there. I'm not going to give up yet, or now especially, because there's so much to be gained. There's so much work that I put into this. And so for many of you, I feel like you're just at that final mile of the race, and it's so important to just finish it up and see where it leads you. But with the Nine of Wands, because you've survived things, because you've been through things, there are certain internal things that you just know and you just trust. So you can also save yourself time and trouble by not repeating things from the past. Normally on this, you would see like a bandage on the person's forehead because they've been through it. They've had some things going on. So if you are kind of just feeling like it's really intense, there's a lot going on in your headspace, talk to somebody. You might have some migraines this month or headaches, and that's just a sign that you need to kind of clear out the seventh chakra a little bit, let go of things, and maybe I can help you with that in the meditation. We'll try to clear your head. Okay, I love this because I'm a tea drinker and I love herbal tea and any types of tea, but we have the Seven of Cups, and basically this is someone that would read tea leaves. What I like with the Seven of Cups is it's a card that shows you all the possibilities, right? And for many of you, this is a time to just do some soul searching. So Seven of Cups energy is great, but it can also lead to that headache stuff that I was talking about, or kind of feeling like there's cloudy vision, which is what we see actually here. We have a confusion card here in your health card. It was reversed. Look at how with this confusion, it's actually external. A lot of times we get this sort of like attached energy that it can come because of our empathy, because we feel like we just care so much about someone that we want to take on their problems and help them. Sometimes it's just hanging around us ancestrally because it's basically been something that we grew up with and we're used to. I feel like you can do a little bit of a clearing right now to let go of that. So I'll try to remember that as well. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to say, we're going to do a little ancestral clearing, and we're also going to try to just like open, your mind, and maybe just bring in sort of like some blue energy there to help with clarity. Okay, so on to the next thing. One thing with the Seven of Cups, usually there's a need to simply make a choice at some point. So allow yourself to really explore all the options and then eventually land on it. Because it's upright, I feel like you might be able to wait till January for that, but better to do it sooner than later. So don't get lost in the possibilities, because sometimes we can explore too many different venues, too many different options, and that can also just be something that brings us into that place of feeling more anxiety. We have the Ten of Cups, and look at it. It actually has a Christmas symbol on this, so great for December. And the thing is, the card is reversed, though. So as we know, this month, there's that longing for belonging, right? And different parts of the United States, and I'm sure also overseas as well, we're being asked right now during November and December to pull back a little bit and keep the celebrations at a minimum. And so with this, I feel like it's celebrating the other pieces of your life that are important, right? First of all, if you have good health right now, that is something to celebrate. If you've recovered, that's something to celebrate. If you're doing well financially, celebrate that. If you have that epiphany where it's like, what am I going to do for my legacy? If you finally understand what you're trying to do, that's a celebration. Definitely tune into my gratitude video at the end of November, because I'll try to help all of us through that and set us in that right energy to be grateful for what is working rather than all the things that aren't, because we're at a precipice of change. We're at a new year. There's some new developments, and I think 2020 should be better overall. So let's hope that that's the case. But at the very least, let's try to create it in our own lives. We can't control planetary movements, always, but we can one by one start to push the energy in the right direction. So celebrate the little accomplishments and the little things, and it doesn't mean that you have to be connected to everyone. And just because you're not in the same room, that doesn't mean that you can't see and experience this. I've been lucky a couple times in my life to have the experience of telepathy where I can actually hear somebody's thoughts. It's very rare, but when it happens, it reminds me that we don't need a telephone. We don't need to be right here. You literally can connect with everybody. So one thing that we can try to do over the next couple of months is meditate and send the love to the people that we love. They can be right there with us. Last night in my dreams, I saw a couple of my grandparents that I haven't seen in a long time, and they're finally at a kind of peaceful place in their afterlife, if you will, because I think they've been off the planet for almost 3 decades now. So it's been a while. So it was great to see them. It was great to see them together, and it reminded me just how it's always there. Family is always there. That connection to ancestors, it's always there. We don't have to have them right here and right now. Now, the other thing with the Ten of Cups, some of you might be pressured again to do something to fit in, to do something that's expected of you, and or to give more than you want to give. The Ten of Cups in reverse is usually people really liking who you are, really liking your energy, and sort of saying like, hey, I want more of that. So just have some good limits this month, and make sure that, when you're tired or you need some space, that you take that space. That's okay. These are good cards for love too. Like I said, it may not happen right now. The card is reversed. It's in the environment, but this tells me the person's in your energy. If you're looking for someone new, soon, maybe not right now, but I feel that energy is right there. If you're recently in a relationship, give it time. Don't rush it. The Ten of Cups in reverse can be a rushed card. So try not to push things too quickly. It might be premature to bring this person to Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, New Year's, whatever. Take your time on that as well. And if you're single and happy, this can be a weird time, even if you are happy, because you're looking at all of this stuff around you and thinking, how do I fit into that? You're just fine. There's still that attractive energy for partnerships and other opportunities. Friendships can happen this time as well. But whether you're alone, together, or trying to figure things out, what I see here is that there's a lot to be happy for. There's a lot of love around you. And it's just up to you kind of like where you want to give and receive that love. And you are the gatekeeper. You are the high priestess. You're creating your own truth. So if you want more of something, then just decide on that and start to bring it in. She's basically saying, if you're ready, I'm ready to help you with that. Because the reversed high priestess is actually pretty powerful. This is someone that can pull the strings, that can sometimes manipulate things. So the other piece of that message is you're more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. So once you get into that power of the High Priestess, you'll start to manifest a lot quicker. We have the Knight of Pentacles. He's reversed, but we'll take a look at the card here. I like how a lot of these cards kind of have like green man, green woman energy. So with this, we see a ton of abundance and a ton of heart space energy here in the person as well. The card was reversed, and a lot of times with the reversal, particularly in the court cards in Pentacles, it is about personal development and a decision that I want to do a little bit more to improve this part of my life, to help myself feel better about this. So this is really taking your self-confidence and building upon that, and looking at anything where you feel like, you know, I know I could do a little bit better here, and taking ownership over that. It's in hopes and possibilities, and it's also in the fear space. So some of you might just be afraid of like, can I achieve this? Am I capable of this? Yeah, look at all the flowers, which are actually pentacles if you look really closely. So yeah, I see a lot of abundance in the future, but for some reason there's this sense of doubt. So don't doubt it, because it's a knight. And we were talking earlier about, you know, the dragon slayer. It's always a knight usually. Doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man, either can be a knight. This is your chance to kind of go after whatever it is you want to go after, but it requires some movement. So a reverse knight is one that's either kind of running in the wrong direction or not moving at all. So I think that this is the time to just take that step. Okay. We have 4 of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacles for you this month, in the outcome. And this is more of the traditional, this is what you would kind of see in a Thoth deck, which shows it as a foundational card. So it feels like some of you are trying to figure out that final pillar, which is why I was pushing you to figure out what it is you're trying to do. Because if you know, then I can help you. But if you don't, then it's hard for me or for anyone else or the universe, for that matter, to kind of get you in the right direction. So do some time figuring out what that final pillar will be, and then everything will come into play. This Lover's card almost looks like the 4 of Wands if we had a couple more trees there. And these little pillars would bring in that 4 of Wands energy as well. You have to set those goals, and that sort of like, it's basically calling in the corners there and figuring out what is it that I need to do. So I feel like that's the next step for you, is just setting into motion your goals, your dreams, and then everything else will start to kind of meet there halfway. Just looking at it from a financial perspective, and then we'll look at it a little bit more when I look at wealth. We have 8 of Pentacles and 3 of Pentacles. We have Knight of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a little bit of holding back. There's a lot of value in this. 3 and 8 tell me that you have everything up here and here that's required to make something happen. The Knight tells me that there's just maybe not enough ownership or communication or power. So I do feel like it's your chance to take that power and to express. 4 of Pentacles is usually a withholding or kind of pulling in energy. So don't fear abundance, because I don't see any reason to do so. In fact, all I see is abundance in this spread. So if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to receive that which you deserve. So it's time to kind of like lean into that sense of self-value so that others can kind of celebrate that as well. All right, let's expand the forecast. And let me take a drink as I do that. All right, so here in confusion, as I dropped a coaster, which hopefully helps wake us all up a little bit if we were asleep. So for the confusion, I was mentioning other people's energy can sometimes wrap around you. And this could be a mother, a father, kind of looks like a mother in this particular deck. It can also be the ancestral energy. So sometimes we are just stuck because at a very young age, that sort of energy imprints on us pretty heavily. So if you had a hard time sort of, maybe your parents never said, I love you, or maybe they really pushed you hard. If you got like a B-, they thought you were failing or something like that. These sort of weird energies sometimes push on us, and then we have to break through that cloudy energy. And so I feel like some of you are kind of chipping away at the ancestral errors or lessons that were around you. And now you're going to realize that was just them. That isn't me. That isn't my truth. And you're going to get rid of that confusion that was kind of shrouded around you because of your growing up experience, right? So I do feel like you're going to be able to make some progress this month. To break it down in like simple terms, you aren't defined by your parents or your parents' mistakes or your brothers or sisters' mistakes. Maybe they had trouble with the law. Maybe they They do things that you don't agree with, whatever, that's their own path. You are you, you do your life, let them do theirs, and also release their judgments, their projections of how they view you, if you're good or if you're bad. That's not for you to decide. That's not for them to decide. And even for you, it's really your higher self and God itself that are going to help you at the end of your life assess this. Nobody around you, it's between you and God. Everyone else, it's just an opinion, okay? So we're gonna let go of those opinions. The other thing with health is just taking it easy. With the 10 of Cups in reverse, it's saying not to go to any extremes. Some of you may be triggered as well by food or by emotional things during this fall holiday, or even by alcohol. Take it easy and do what's best for you. That's the main message with health that came through. For everyone else, I love that we have 3 and 8 of Pentacles here. I do feel like you could really have a productive month or two ahead. So if you're watching this in November, I would say November and December. If you're looking at December, maybe even a little bit into January. Couple of months here where you can get a lot of work done and a lot of it's like catch-up opportunity. So maybe not being distracted by coworkers and family because of all the global shutdowns and social distancing in place could actually be advantageous because you can get a lot done. So clear up your headspace, clear up that sort of stuff from the past, and hey, Apollo, and we'll see where that leads you in the months ahead. All right, let's look at wealth. We have renewal, and it's Osiris here. The card was reversed, but doesn't really matter with this. What I would say if I was reading this kind of as death reversed, what I would say for you is that there's a chance now to break through anything where you felt like I'm just not making progress. So for instance, if you've been in a relationship, maybe it's been several years and you're just not seeing that the two of you are going anywhere, this is a chance to sort of let that go, because this is a card of release and renewal. You could open up something new. If you wanted a second chance at something that didn't work out before, maybe this time around, you'll know exactly what to do. Or if you've been applying for a job and you never got it, this could be the time where there's a breakthrough for that. But basically it's saying if there's stagnancy, there's some part of this where there's ownership and you realize I need to change that. I need to let go of that. I'm going to move past that stagnancy. And if there was a loss, and we've all experienced loss in some form this year, whether it's a loss of a job, loss of income, loss of a family member, sometimes just a loss of patience because we're dealing with all of this. The loss actually opens up opportunities for something new, particularly if it was material or a loss of a person or something. There'll be something else coming into your life that's going to replace that. What you can do this month is focus on the preparation. It's kind of like we go back to the 4 of Pentacles card. I'm getting ready for this new thing, that 4th sandcastle that she's creating. So this is what I want. This is what I'm ready for this time. And I'm making it. I'm an active creator. I'm the high priestess manifesting it. We've got a lot of Egyptian stuff coming through today too, because that's Isis up here. And we have Osiris here. So it's a nice combination with Isis and Osiris. That also could show that the future relationship that's coming through is also a really sacred or ancient kind of connection. So whether it's a love interest or it's a really good friendship. This is definitely past life with those 2 characters coming in. There could be a really powerful relationship that's coming forth probably in 2021 based on the fact that I'm not seeing it here in the future outcome, but soon. All right, let's take a look now at love. Speaking of love. Oh, wait, one last thing with Osiris. Because it's in wealth, I feel like some of you might need to be encouraged that it's okay to step away from something that you've done for a while. So let's say you spent 20 or 30 years in a job path and all of a sudden you have this desire to want to go back to school and do something else. It might be exactly the right time to do that. You just have to look at your finances, make sure that it makes sense from your perspective. But this is a change, and this is a change that you decide. Because the whole story of like Osiris and everything, it was something that Isis took an active role in that too. I'm going to bring this to life. I'm going to breathe life back into this person. So if there's something that you've let go, Isis is reminding you quite clearly today that you can go back and breathe life into that. It's never really gone unless you just let it go. So if there's a project, or if you want to go back and finish school, or if there's a piece of your life where you feel like it's too late, no, it isn't. She's proving that it isn't. She kind of bucked the trend here and showed that you can do what you want to do. Okay. With love here, it says, take your time making this decision. So I've actually been talking a lot about this. When it comes to a big life shift, the most important piece of that puzzle is coming to the realization that I am ready. I want this, I'm ready, this is what I want to do. You're coming out to yourself with some sort of a truth. So maybe if you spent a long time as a mathematician and you realize you're an artist, you're coming out as, I'm an artist and I'm in the wrong path. Why am I doing this? What am I going to do about this? It can be any number of other things, but that self-realization, that self-acceptance, that's key. Give yourself some time, get into that, because the minute you start to move forward and say, now I am this and now I am ready, things will move quickly. So take a month or two to kind of get there, but do prepare to start to see movement after that. With other things with love, like I said, the fact that both Isis and Osiris came through show me a deep sacred relationship. For some of you, maybe a second chance. That could be interesting. If you're in love, there's a chance to deepen that. If you're looking for love, love can come through. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done on yourself. With 8, 3, and 4 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles is the heart space. And it's about holding back or not valuing oneself enough. So that's what I was looking at with like fraternal and sorority type energies. Just making sure that you're not looking for value as a connection of like what other people think value is in here. Once you fix that, that lover energy will manifest in whatever way you want it to. Your final card, Destiny. One last thing here. We do have a Knight of Pentacles coming through as a potential partner here. Again, I don't read cards with gender. I just read them with rank. So this would be someone who has kind of a younger energy. Knights are younger, so could be an old soul in a younger body. But what I see with this person is someone that's really focused on their own development. So be ready for someone who might be busy or independent if you're looking for love. If you're in a relationship, there could be a little tug of war because one of you or both of you are kind of focusing more on practical or maybe education or something like that. So the challenge will be, how do we make time for one another while we're being pulled on these different directions? And there's a choice there because we see Osiris, maybe it's ended. But there are always choices. I'm just kind of showing where the intricacies may lay. Now let's take a look at your outcome in Destiny. Destiny is malleable. We have Mary Magdalene. It says, the teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. The card was reversed, but I want to pull it up right so you can see it. So the teacher energy, that's so connected to what we were talking about earlier. Knowing that it's not always about you being in front of children talking. This could also be, like I said, a technical manual, a how-to guide, a cookbook. We don't even think of things like that as teaching, but they are. Sometimes people think, I don't want to teach kids. Well, you don't have to. You could be sharing knowledge. What else are we on this journey for? This YouTube video is a form of teaching. So maybe you're going to do something like that, a podcast or a blog or an Instagram feed where it focuses on, inner workings of something. So Mary's coming through saying that this is going to be an important part of you being a teacher. And don't let anything stop you. I really like that last piece of it. It's so small and hard to read, but follow that inner call. Don't let anything stop you. And I think I actually wrote that piece where it says you have something important to share. And we're going to get to that in a second here because we're right at the review. So yeah, really great messages for you. And it is about what you want to share and how you want to share it. His bed is driving me nuts, so I'm going to move it back. Apollo was having fun with that a moment ago. All right. I can see it in the background and I need to focus. All right. So let's take a look at the messages here. All right. So this is your chance to overcome a fear, to slay the dragon. Now that we see the Isis and Osiris story here, I feel like some of you might have a chance to also go back and right a wrong or bring something back to life that you sort of let go. But the dragon, to me, is symbolic of something that you're afraid of, a monster, a beast, the devil. And all of those things symbolize something that you feel like you can't conquer. But guess what? You can, because we see right there the high priestess saying, you've got this. Figure out what's been holding you back and just take a step towards it. Sometimes it can just be education, right? Because we've got all these educational cards with the 3 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles. So sometimes a lack of knowledge or experience can lead you to feel like what we see here with the 4 of Pentacles, that lack of confidence. So this is a chance for you to get more into the energy of confidence, right? Step forward, use your voice, use your words or actions. I was talking about the King or Queen of Swords, really just using communication, knowing that it's not always about, getting on television or writing a book. There's a lot of other ways to kind of put that out there, but it does feel like your voice matters. Maybe you never got the support from others. Just envision that successful outcome. That's part of High Priestess energy. Knowing you can do it allows you to come through and actually do it. The desire to belong may attract you to a group that, isn't looking for you for the right reasons. It's sort of like what you pay or who you are or how you kind of move through their initiation process. It's cool to prove to yourself that you can do it. And by the way, I think you can do it. But this sorority or fraternal kind of energy, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's going to give you that sense of self-love. You'll be accepted, but it doesn't necessarily facilitate self-love. So only do it if you want to, if there's some sort of advantage, like it's a professional organization that's going to help open up a door. But it may be anticlimactic once you get the acceptance because you've got a lot to say and you may not fit in with that group. Celebrate what makes you unique, what makes you singular, and trust that that's going to attract. Already got the Lovers card here, that sort of higher energy that you're looking for. And the Dolphin card is also you having fun. If you're not having fun in those organizations, then they're not the right ones to be with. You may find it increasingly hard to be quiet, and that's okay. Join the club. If there's something that you have to say, I feel like you have to say it. Your message needs to be heard. Mary said it. She said, you have something that you have to share, powerful that you have to share. So please do it. And I came through with the same message. So if it needs to be said, it needs to be said. And I mentioned later that some secrets shouldn't be kept. It's not a popular belief, but there are some things where maybe you're keeping a secret, someone else's secret for the wrong reason. And it's time to let it to the light of day for healing to happen. For those who can write, teach, or somehow kind of use language to their benefit, explore creating a curriculum or a textbook. And I was also kind of encouraging you to maybe try something different. Like it could even be like a cookbook or an instructional how-to. It does not have to be some sort of fiction type piece or entertainment thing. It's actually more procedural. Speak up, speak out, especially if someone's pushing you to do something that feels or might actually be wrong. Ask questions with respect to money, legal matters, especially if it's not popular. That should be a big old red flag that something's up. Loyalties are going to be put to the test. There's likely going to be a revelation this month. Secrets will find a way to get to a larger audience. If you feel like someone's going to try to use something that you weren't ready to say against you, then just come out and say it. Take ownership of that and have an announcement and you're going to be fine. However, if there's something that you're keeping secret for the wrong reason, it's probably better to kind of like reveal that and allow for healing to happen because not all secrets are good. What's your legacy on this planet? Why don't you use that as a way to make your 2021 goals and also to kind of help you figure out as you're navigating all of this, is it bringing me further ahead or is it pulling me behind? Let's see, there's no more time to waste. And this is really what we're seeing with the night energy that I saw with the Dragon Slayer or that knight here. It's really time for you to get into the driver's seat. We have the Dolphin card, which is reminding you that fun actually is productive. It's good to do something like that. So if there's something that brings you joy, put that in your schedule. All work, no play. It actually just makes you bored and not very productive. And you're going to probably just kind of be spinning your wheels a little bit. Dolphins are really intelligent, so that's why it's kind of coming through. Have fun, be playful, use your passion in a really cool way to engage people, to pull in that lover's energy. You might also be kind of like flirty with friends or with coworkers this month. Be careful of that, but it does feel like it could be fun to kind of bring in that energy of, there's more than just this. So I just get that sort of playful, flirty rather energy from the Dolphin. 3 of Pentacles, also the 8 of Pentacles. It feels like you're going to graduate from something or finish something because this is the initiation, this is the beginning, this is the execution. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles on that. And that's really good because it shows balance and a connection between your past and your future, between your divine masculine and feminine. I feel like this brings balance in your life. This 2 of Pentacles is also touching the Lovers and the 9 of Wands. So for some of you, I feel like there's a little bit more work to be done before that partner shows up if you're looking for somebody new. And if you've been in a relationship, 9 of Wands or 9 of Pentacles is about really like how much you've put into it. This says there's something worth fighting for. But when there's a Nine of Wands in reverse, if that person has somehow started to become pushy or abusive or no longer has your best interest at hand, then Osiris is coming in saying it's time for a change. That probably isn't the best path anymore because they're not allowing you to be yourself. So freedom and liberation can be a part of this spread as well. High Priestess, additional intuitive development coming through. Be careful of crafty people that might be around you that are trying to get the better of you. I feel like you're going to see right through it and you're going to know it. You just have to trust what you're feeling and seeing. When you start to allow yourself to see, feel, and hear things as they want to come through, not as you want them to come through, you might feel like you'll start to be able to develop your psychic skills a little bit more. We have the Seven of Cups right by the Confusion card, and usually you see these cups floating in the air. So I definitely see a connection between the two. So it's saying, give yourself time to explore options, but don't get lost in the different opportunities. One of the hardest things, even for me sometimes, is just to make a decision. And I have to kind of go into my heart, my soul, my gut. I'm like, yeah, I know. This is what I have to do. You can ask like 5 different people what you need to do, but you really already know. And so make a choice. I feel like you're going to need to make that choice before 2021 gets too far underway. Don't give in to peer pressure. Don't give in to excess. Don't feel pressured to be in a marriage or in a relationship. If it's too soon, because the Lovers, the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Cups is having someone say, are you ready? But you're not ready. So if they propose and it's not yet, say not yet, if that's where you're at. Peer pressure or familial pressure is not cool if you're not feeling it. But otherwise, Ten of Cups is just saying celebrate the little successes. There's a lot of love around you. Some of you may be dealing from kind of like celebrity factor here where too much energy is around you and you need to pull back a little bit, because whenever I see 3 of Cups or 10 of Cups in reverse, it's the reverse of all of that social energy. It's kind of like, I want to be antisocial. So if that's what you need to do to heal and to get sort of centered, then go for it. Knight of Pentacles coming through in opportunities and hopes and fears, reminding you that this is a good time to finish up what you've started, for sure. Also, that the person coming into your life in the future, if you're getting out of a relationship or even if there's a new friendship or kind of opportunity coming in, this person's going to be busy. So if you've wanted someone that would give you your space, you're definitely going to get it. But you may also feel like, hey, I'm still here. So there could be a little bit of challenge either way that you're cutting that. With the 4 of Pentacles here, know what you want. Once you know that, once you open up your heart space, other people can come in and give you the value that you deserve, because everything here shows me value. Make up your mind for health. Talk to somebody. If you're kind of confused, this could also be a great card for finding a good mentor. Just make sure that you have someone who has your best interest at heart. And then just work on healing family stuff. And I picked up the card that I'd written that fell on the floor that says, we'll do a little bit of ancestral clearing and opening of your mind to try to clear those clouds. Second chances, new starts, recovering after loss, all of those things are coming through with Osiris, or death in the reverse state. It's death and rebirth, which is what I was talking to. There's a lot of connection in this sign and then also in Libra. So you both are kind of going through new cycles. Libra had the Wheel of Fortune at the center. You're already further into that path because you have 8 of Pentacles and 3 of Pentacles here. So you're already kind of embarked upon that journey, I believe. Take your time in figuring things out. I would say don't take too long because we got the 7 of Cups. I think six to 8 weeks feels like a good amount of time. And then start to make sure that you're making some traction early 2021. Mary came through to say, you are a teacher whether you know it or not. The teaching can take many forms. The most important thing here is you have something important to share. So please share it. Follow that inner call and don't let anything or anybody kind of hold you down or hold you back. Really great messages for you today, I have to say. Let's go ahead now and go a little deeper into the soul path. I'll take the last card to look at the ancestral clearing, or maybe the second card. The first thing that I want to look at is the 8 and the 3 of Pentacles. I want to see 8, 3, and 2. What is it you're working on? What is this internal work? 8, 3, 4. There was so much Pentacles that came through. What is it that you need to kind of master? And have you already mastered it? You've mastered it. We have the Queen of Pentacles. The thing with the Queen of Pentacles is she takes ownership. She starts to feel like she can receive. Look at her being pampered here. I love different interpretations of the Queen of Pentacles. This queen is the queen we all want to be. She's got a couple people carrying her in this, little whatever it is, cabana or something, and then she has all this fruit here. Abundance is on the horizon. Start to open yourself up to think, I've done the requisite work. I'm ready to receive it, but I also know that I'm ready to own the responsibility that's a part of that. So, there's some management, there's some oversight, and there's some decision-making that is part of this. Once I started to own my own businesses, because I have a couple, I had to start to, it's difficult. It's actually really hard. Actually, I'm not going to lie about that, because you have to look at taxes, legal things, you have to make decisions. You're dealing with, I'm just a one-person business. I have support here with a couple moderators, but like when it comes to the back end of it, I do everything you see. So every post, every word, every picture, everything that's been scheduled, every email, it's a lot, but that's what a Queen or King of Pentacles does. So you can do it, but you have to also do it. That's kind of what she's saying. So I'm like a one-man show here, but you can do the same thing if you want to. There's a work that's required. It's not all this. You are in those moments where you can relax, but there's also some work involved with this too. So I guess I would underline the mirage versus the reality of it. So this is for the 1 month of the year where you can kind of take it easy, but there's going to also be some other things coming in. So get the work done, look forward to those moments, but also dig in and realize, okay, I'm a leader now. I have to do this stuff, right? So you are the queen, but queens have responsibility too. Let's go into the headspace here. I want to look at 7 of Cups, and I want to look at the confusion card. Let's look at ancestral energy and opportunities in front of you. We have the Page of Wands, and I like this one. And I think this page came through in my October collective reading. So this one is showing the page almost reaching out into the clouds to get the lightning. And I mentioned before, I like active wand cards. So in some decks, we'll see maybe the 3 of Wands being more active. Here we see the Page being more active. Pages can be passive sometimes because they're waiting to receive. So this one is reaching out to make the connection. And we see him or her getting lightning from the cloud, right? So I like that. And so what we're looking at here is, I know my truth. I can clear this stuff up too. And it is more sort of me coming to terms with who I am. There is an expression with this. So for this person here, which could be grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, brother, sister, or just society, what you're going to do is say, that's not me. This is me. And it is this sort of declaration, because pages say what they need to say. The page is upright, so I feel like the timing is going to be when you want to say it and how you want to say it. But there is this announcement or this coming out. And I saw that too with the sort of secret being spilled. So whatever it is you're trying to do, I just feel like part of your journey right now could be to simply declare it, to announce it, to embrace it, and then to do so unapologetically. So rather than feeling like, you could even say, I don't have to defend this decision. This is what I'm doing. I've chosen it. Thank you for your feedback, but this is what I want to do. So that could also be a part of this, is to not solicit or any sort of like feedback or make apologies for it, or try to kind of like, the more you do that, the less power you have. So at a certain point, just sort of like own what you need to do. The other thing is, this is kind of reaching out to your higher self, your divine self, and saying, who am I? What do I want to do? Why am I doing this? Like I was saying earlier, these are important questions that we should kind of meditate on each day. I got to the point where I could put it on index cards like I do right now. So if I were trying to summarize myself for that legacy question, or to maybe help some of you, I put the same thing on my bio, on my website, on my book, and everything else. I'm really here to kind of help raise the frequency of the planet, to talk about intuitive awakening, to have spiritual conversations that are intelligent, not sort of fantastic. We really I want to normalize a spiritual experience. So everything that I do, whether it's a video, whether it's writing, whether it's something that I'm talking to someone about, it's always about raising the collective consciousness. That's like at its core what I do. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but when you can kind of pull it down to one thing, some of you might be here to heal people. Some of you might be here to help people get past their blocks. These are other things that I do as well. Maybe you're here to entertain. Maybe you're here to inspire. Maybe you're here simply to work on your karma and to realize that, to reclaim your power. Whatever it is you're trying to do, figure out what that legacy is so that when you go up into the ethers, you can look back and put a big check plus and think, I did that, I accomplished that, and more. Because all the other stuff is just other people pushing onto you what they want. All right, let's go now just to the universe. What else do you need to know? We have the Empress card. So there is a lot of divine feminine energy that came through. Queen of Pentacles, this card, the High Priestess Osiris. So for some of you, this is a highly creative card, by the way. So if you want to do something, you might need to do it yourself. That's what she's saying. Some of you may be desiring like beginning a new family. You might do that on your own as well, if that's something that you're interested in. But what we're looking at here is the act of creation and nurturing. So you're all capable of doing that, and you can kind of pull into that divine feminine energy, this high priestess and the Empress energy, however you would like. It does feel, though, like when I read this, that you're already on that path of delivery and growth. We're not looking at a pregnant woman in this Empress card. We're looking at someone that already has that creation, that child, or that this symbolizes other things. For some of you, this can be a business, a project, an endeavor. So I feel like it's time to take hold of that and move forward. The gestation period is already over. It's time to get on to the next part of the journey. So you've got everything that it takes. That's the kind of like constant message that I'm seeing here. So trust in that and do what you need to do to really make the most of the here and the now, right? So I'd like to move on to the meditation portion. Before I do that, I'd like to remind everybody that it really does help the channel, if you haven't already done so, to like and subscribe. It's a small thing, but it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, thumb up. This little bell icon will also help you later if you want to get any sort of notifications of when I go live again. So feel free to do that if you'd like. And stick around. I've been pulling an extra card, so I might do that for you today to see if there's anything else that we can look at when it comes to clearing your head or clearing your mind. But I'm going to try to do that in the meditation. Okay, so let's see ourselves at the top of a hill during the middle part of the day where the sun is right overhead. So if you were to close your eyes, you would actually feel the warmth and the heat and the light of the sun on your crown chakra. I want you to close your eyes and as you're at the top of this hill or mountain, if you prefer, really connect with the heart of the planet. And if you'd like, you can work with the tree. Maybe there's an old pine tree right behind you, and you can kind of lean against this, trace your energy along the trunk of this tree, allow yourself to initially also travel through the roots, and then go beyond the tree itself. You can stay anchored with that, but then go a little bit deeper, go beneath the rocky layers of the earth into the sort of the molten layers eventually, and then getting into the center of this planet, which is hot and fiery, just like the sun above you. So there's this sort of hidden heat and movement and energy within the heart of this planet, the same stuff that creates that protective electromagnetic shield around us. And as you connect with the center of the earth, just send a loving thought, like, thank you for being here, for giving me a place to walk, to live my life, etc. And as you start to send this love towards the center of the planet, feel this envelope of energy that kind of encompasses and enwraps your, or sort of wraps around your entire body. And you feel like you almost have this blanket around you. It's just safe, everything is okay. And you can kind of melt a little bit further into the tree, into the earth. And now reach up and travel along the top part of the tree until you can feel the heat and the warmth of the sun above you. You can also feel it on your head. And you have these two discs of energy, one at the center of the planet, one above you. And you feel both discs that are starting to come closer and closer until it creates kind of like this, this cylinder of light, meeting right at the heart center. And at this point, if there's anything that you've been holding on to that makes you feel less than or incapable, it's starting to melt away because you just feel your heart area starting to expand. You take a moment to also look at the beautiful blue sky above you, and that space starts to, that color starts to fill the space of your throat and also your mind. So if there's anything that was kind of clouding it up, you just feel this blue and also yellow light pushing through all of the cobwebs, all of the clouds, until all you see is blue sky and sunshine in your mind, in your body, and your energy as well. Healing, openness, and clarity. And once the clouds have cleared, you can see everything and everyone for exactly what they are. So I'd like you to take a moment to look around your body and your mind and your spirit and see the things that have been taking residence in your auric field. Was it truly love when you were connecting to some of these people? Where did the guilt come from for some of these people? And even your own sense of self-worth, is it less than it can be? Can you find places where you could love yourself more? Look at all the different things, how you saw yourself, how you saw other people, and how their energy weighed in. And I'd like you now to take a moment. Imagine you could bow down in all directions to all of these energies, and we're just going to clear it so that it's just you, and that the clarity is in your heart, your mind, your soul, everything's connecting here. Heart and third eye are going to clear up and open up and help you see your potential. So as I play the singing bowl here, just feel like all the clouds are dissipating, all the voices are going away, all the people that have been taking residence here in your heart and your mind and your spirit are leaving now, and you can just focus on what's important, what you'd like to call in. So call in and plant that seed as we're listening to the singing bowl and create something new. Take a deep breath, exhale. Imagine that in front of you, you see a sword and a stone, the sword containing your purpose, your life path, the key to unlocking whatever it is that you want to create in your life. Pull that sword out of the stone because you are just like Arthur, that is Excalibur. You're able now to move forward and to slay any dragon, to go through anything that's in your life that you can't handle. You've got that energy, you've got that strength. And if you'd like to, you can take the energy of the sword and pull it into your auric field so it's with you always. So imagine that you're holding it in your hands. You could just bring it towards your heart and place it there so you have the strength and the power of that sword with you always. You can call upon it with compassion and with power and with all of the sort of higher frequencies that we've built on today, and really take on anything that happens in the months and the years to come. Gently open your eyes when you're ready on the next exhale. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the meditation. You feel your strength and power. We're going to look at one last card, and then we're going to wrap up. Page of Cups. That's the love that you're creating. That's the joy that you deserve. That's the next phase of your life. We see that the lotus is there, which is also representing the crown chakra. So I do want you to kind of open up to all of the possibilities and looking at your soul path again. You're already ready to receive this, but you have to sort of state that and own that readiness. Remember, you can create the lightning. You can create the inspiration. You're the one that also has to sort of speak your truth and announce it. It's not really appropriate or necessary anymore to keep holding on to something. It feels like the delivery has already happened, and it's now just about celebrating who you are and what you want to do. And that's what's going to attract the family that I talked about earlier, or that sort of like spiritual tribe. I want to say thanks to everybody that took time out of their schedule today to spend it with me. Your time is valuable, and I appreciate you. If you were kind enough to do a super chat, I will pin a reply to my comment earlier. Well, once this is on replay, I do like a general pinned comment, and I right under that, I will just say thanks to everybody that helped out. I'd love for you to also join me on social media. So if you don't already have my website, it's nicholasashbaugh.com. You can click on all the links that I'm going to talk about by going to my main profile page. Just click my picture, go to About, it's all there. I'd love for you to join me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All three of these, I use the stories to remind you of upcoming videos. I can actually put links in these too. And I put images of the cards that not the main deck here, but the written messages, all the channel messages. I also post those usually within 24 hours of the reading, so you'll have those there. You can also join me on Goodreads. If you'd like to give back in a monthly way, you can use Patreon, or you can click the join button here. My username across all social media is @NicholasAshbaugh, nothing before, nothing after. The one exception is Twitter, where it's @NAshbaugh. And all of this is on my website, so don't worry if I'm going fast. PayPal, also on my website. You can do paypal.me/NicholasAshbaugh. And finally, if you happen to be watching this on replay and you wanted to just do something like a super sticker, you can use the applaud button, and that also helps support me. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. It's Monday, so I will be back later this week on Thursday and Friday, and I'll be doing Sagittarius and Capricorn next. And then I'll be wrapping up next week with Aquarius and Pisces. So looking forward to seeing all of you that might be joining me for those videos. And otherwise, stick around later in the month, and you can come back on the 27th for a collective reading. Okay? Much love and light to everybody. Thank you so much. And thanks for those last few stickers that are coming through. I see you and I appreciate you. Again, have a great day ahead. And a great end of the year. We're going to do another video at the end of this year, so don't worry. We'll have a chance to ring in the new year together. All right, everybody, take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.